Hi everybody. In this video, we are going to talk about equations with an infinite number of solutions. In the equations that you're going to see here, no matter what number you choose to plug in for x, both sides will turn out to be the same. And that means that every single number is a solution to the equation. And how can you determine when you do in fact have an equation like that, where no matter what number you choose, you get a solution to the equation? Well, if both sides of an equation are exactly the same, then the equation has an infinite number of solutions. And it's actually not too hard to see why that is. So let's look at a simple example over here, where I have x minus 1 is equal to x minus 1. So I have the exact same thing on both sides. What would happen if I were to plug in, I don't know, let's say 4. If I plug 4 in for x, then on this side I have 4 minus 1, which is 3. And on this side I'll get 4 minus 1, which is also 3. So I get the same thing on both sides. So 4 is a solution to this equation. Are there any other numbers that I can plug in so that and make both sides the same? Let's try negative 16. If I plug in negative 16 here and negative 16 over here, then on this side I get negative 16 minus 1. And on this side I get negative 16 minus 1. Are these equal to each other? Well, negative 16 minus 1 is negative 17. Negative 16 minus 1 is negative 17. So yes, so they are equal to each other. Both sides turned out to be the same. So that means that negative 16 is also a solution to this equation. And if you just think about it for a second, it should be clear that, well, wait a minute. If both of these sides, the left side and the right side, are both exactly the same, then of course, no matter what number I pick to plug in there, I'm going to see that the result on the left side is the same as the result on the right side. So any number is a solution here. So this equation has an infinite number of solutions. Now, what about this equation over here? This one looks, if I were to give you this equation and say, solve that, you might think to yourself, oh my goodness, Mr. Friedman, he's lost his mind. I can't do this. This is too hard. Why is he giving this to me? But this is actually an incredibly easy equation to solve, because look at it. Both sides are exactly the same. I have 5x minus x over 18.75 all over 39 on the left. This is left for you, on the left side. And I have 5x minus x over 18.75 all over 39 on the right side. So both sides are exactly the same. So no matter what number I plug into all of these x's, my left side is going to turn out to be exactly like the right side. So this equation also has an infinite number of solutions. See, it's very easy. If both sides of an equation are exactly the same, then the equation has an infinite number of solutions. No matter what you pick, it's going to work. All right, now what about this equation here? Now you might be saying to yourself, well, both sides are not exactly the same here, so this one does not have an infinite number of solutions. But let's just tweak it a little bit. So how would you go about solving this equation? You might think, well, I see this is all being divided by 14. Let me multiply by 14. But then you also have to remember, if you choose to multiply or divide, then you have to do that to every single term. So if you choose to multiply over here, then you would have to multiply every single term by 14. Not just this one, but the minus 2 also. So 2x plus 28 divided by 14 and then times 14 would just give me the 2x plus 28 back. And then this 14 times, even though this is a minus 2, I'll think of it as negative 2. So 14 times negative 2 is negative 28. And I can put a minus 28 over here. And whoops, whatever I do to the left side, I have to do the same thing to the right side also. So I also need to multiply this by 14. Okay. So here I can see that, well, 14 divided by 7 would be 2. So 14 times x over 7 would actually be 2x. Here, maybe it's not clear why this is equal to 2x. Let me just break it down a little bit. So this is x times 7, x over 7 times 14. We can put the 14 over 1, and then we would get x times 14 is 14x, and 7 times 1 is 7, and then 14 divided by 7 is 2, so we get 2x there. Okay, now over here, to simplify things a little bit more, I see that I have plus 28 and then minus 28. Well, 28 minus 28 is just 0, so this is 2x plus 0, which is just 2x. So actually over here, I have 2x, and on the right side, I also have 2x. So both sides of this equation turn out to be exactly the same, which means that this equation has an infinite number of solutions. No matter what you pick to plug in for x here, you'll see that this side turns out to be the same as this side. Okay? And by the way, over here, if I didn't do 28 minus 28 is 0, I also could have, it's probably easier just to say that this is 0, but you also could have, if you wanted to, added 28 to both sides, except you can't add 28 to 2x because this has an x and this doesn't. But we can sort of slide it over here. And then what would happen, these would cancel. We would get 2x plus 28 is equal to 2x, whoops, 2x plus 28. So if you had done, there's more than one way to solve an equation. And if you had done that, then you also would have seen that you get the exact same answer on the left and on the right. So that no matter what you choose for x, when you plug it in to the original equation, it will solve the equation. And just to give you a very simple example, what's the easiest number that I can think of, just to show you that I'll get the same answer on both sides? How about 0? If I replace all of these x's here with zeros, then on the left side, I'll have 2 times 0 plus 28 over 14. And on the right side, I'll have 0 over 7. Well, 0 over 7 is just 0. 0 divided by 7 is 0. Then 2 times 0 is 0. Oh, I got scared for a second. I thought, why is this not working out? It's because I forgot the minus 2. So hang on a second. There's a minus 2 over here. So 2 times 0 plus 28 over 14. Okay, now it'll work. So 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 28 is 28. And then 28 divided by 14 is 2. So this whole thing is equal to 2. But then I have 2 minus 2. So I get 0 over here also. So you see it works. 0 is equal to 0. That's good. And I didn't have to choose 0. That was just the easiest number that I could think of to show you. You can try yourself. Take any number that you want and replace these x's with that number, and you'll see that the left side is always equal to the right side, no matter what you pick. So there are an infinite number of solutions to this equation. Okay? So again, very easy. If both sides, if you're solving an equation and you see that as you solve it, you get to a point where you see that both sides are exactly the same, then you know that the equation has an infinite number of solutions. All right? Have a great night.